There are moments in life when you don't recognize yourself anymore. You wake up, stare at the ceiling, and you don't panic. You don't cry. You don't even move. You just lie there. The ceiling looks familiar. The room looks familiar. The light coming in through the window looks the same as it always has. But something feels off. Not wrong, just different. And a question shows up in your head that wasn't there before. How did I get here? Not in a dramatic way, not in a way that makes you sit up in bed. It just appears. Quiet, persistent. You remember being younger. You remember wanting things. You remember assuming the future would sort itself out if you followed the rules. You used to dream loudly. You used to talk about later like it was guaranteed. You used to believe effort automatically turned into security. You believed there was a straight line. Work hard, be responsible, do your part. And at the end of that line, there would be rest. Somewhere along the way, that belief starts to weaken. Not because of one big failure, not because of one bad decision, because of accumulation. Years pass, responsibilities pile up, loss shows up without asking, and one day you wake up and realize the life you planned for is not the life you're living. You don't feel dramatic about it, you feel tired, and slowly, quietly, you start accepting things you never thought you would. This guy, his name is Ed. Ed Bambis is 88 years old. He lives in Michigan. He's an Army veteran. He's a former General Motors worker. He's the kind of person who did what he was supposed to do. He served. He worked. He stayed consistent. By every reasonable definition, Ed should have been done working years ago. Not just retired twice. Instead, at 88 years old, Ed Bambis is standing behind a cashier station at a Meijer supermarket. 40 hours a week. Same store, same position, same routine. He stands there while groceries move past him on a belt. Cans, boxes, plastic bags. He scans items. He presses buttons. He hands back receipts. The work isn't complicated. It's repetitive. What makes it heavy is the time. 8 hours a day, sometimes more, standing the entire time. This isn't something he's doing to stay busy. It's not about social interaction. It's not boredom. He's there because he needs the money, because the math didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Ed retired from General Motors in 1999. At the time, retirement felt like closure, not relief, not celebration, just completion. Decades of factory work had added up to something solid. He had done the thing people tell you to do. He showed up every day. He worked through routine. He didn't chase shortcuts. When he retired, he wasn't wealthy, but he was stable. He owned his home. He had a pension. He had health insurance. I felt comfortable, Ed said later. I felt I had a stable financial footing. That sentence matters because most people aren't chasing luxury. They're chasing footing. For years, that footing held. Life wasn't exciting. It wasn't easy, but it was predictable. Bills came in, bills went out. Then the ground started to shift. In 2012, General Motors went through bankruptcy. For Ed, that didn't mean headlines. It didn't mean press conferences. It meant his pension disappeared. The money he had planned around stopped coming. It didn't taper off. It didn't slowly reduce. It stopped. Around that same time, his wife became seriously ill. Not briefly, not something that passed. Serious illness has a rhythm of its own. Doctor visits become normal. Waiting rooms become familiar. Appointments replace plans. Ed became her full-time caregiver. That didn't happen overnight. It happened one responsibility at a time. Helping her move, helping her sit, helping her rest. Days began to revolve around her needs. Nights revolved around worry. Medical bills arrived quietly at first, then regularly. Prescriptions, treatments, costs that didn't care whether the pension still existed. Ed didn't complain about this period of his life. He didn't describe it as sacrifice. It was just what had to be done. 7 years ago, his wife died. After she passed, the house changed. Same walls, same furniture, different silence. And the bills didn't disappear with her. Medical debt stayed. Property costs stayed. Living expenses stayed. Without his pension, the numbers stopped lining up. For a while, Ed tried to stay retired. He adjusted what he could. He cut spending. He delayed payments. He reran the numbers again and again. Eventually, there was nothing left to adjust. So Ed went back to work, not because he wanted to, because there was no other option. The first job was at Ace Hardware, physical work, long hours, standing, lifting, helping customers. Later, he moved to Meijer, a cashier position, more predictable, more stable. By then, Ed was already well into his 80s, 8-hour shifts, standing the entire time, day after day. The store had its own rhythm, morning rush, afternoon lull, evening crowd. Ed learned it without thinking about it. Scan, bag, receipt. Customers came and went. Some chatted, some didn't. Most didn't notice his age. It wasn't hard for me to do it because I knew I had to do it. That sentence isn't motivational. It's practical. I'm fortunate God gave me a good enough body to be strong enough to stand there 8.5 hours a day. Ed didn't frame his situation as unfair. He didn't ask for attention. When someone asked what he wanted from the future, he didn't talk about vacations or comfort. He said he wanted to live a little, somewhat, of the life I was hoping for. That was it. Somewhat. His life might have stayed invisible. An elderly man working quietly, showing up, clocking in, clocking out. But one comment online changed that. An Australian influencer named Sam Weidenhofer saw a message. Someone mentioned an 88-year-old man working full-time in a Michigan supermarket after losing his pension and his wife. Just a comment, easy to ignore, easy to scroll past. Sam didn't. He booked a flight. Over 9,000 miles, Australia to Michigan. No build-up, no plan beyond meeting the man. He walked into the Meijer where Ed worked. Same store, same cashier station. He introduced himself, asked if Ed would talk. Ed did. On camera, Ed explained why he was still working. No exaggeration, no emotional build-up, just facts. Sam handed him a $400 tip. He stopped. He looked down. Then he broke. "Well, thank you," he said. The video went online. It didn't explode immediately. Then it did. Millions of views. People watched an old man standing at a checkout line trying to process a small act of kindness. A GoFundMe was created. The goal wasn't vague. It was simple. Let Ed retire. Donations came in. Hundreds. Thousands, hundreds of thousands. People who didn't know Ed, people who would never meet him, they donated anyway. The total passed $1 million, then more. By the time Sam returned to Michigan, the total had crossed $1.7 million. Sam walked back into the same store, same place. This time, he wasn't alone. He brought a giant check. Ed saw it. He froze. He didn't understand it at first. Then he did. He cried. "I wish my wife were here," he said. At 88 years old, Ed Bambis finally stopped working. No more shifts. No more standing for 8 hours. He could pay off his debts. He could keep his home. He could rest. Not because life became fair, but because one day someone noticed him. And the story didn't end quietly.